Now, this evening, MPs have been debating Jules Law. It's a proposal that would force social media companies to hand over dead children's data to their families. The bereaved mother who's behind the proposal is Ellen Room. Her 14-year-old son, Jules Sweeney, took his own life in 2022. The family believes he may have died after an online challenge went wrong, but it's been unable to get access to what he had been looking at on his social media accounts. We'll hear from her in just a moment. First, though, Theo Bartram is director of the public policy think tank, the Social Market Foundation. He previously worked for TikTok and for Google. So why does he think social media companies would want to deny a bereaved parent access to their child's data?
I can't even begin to contemplate how terrible it must be to lose your son in that circumstance, and then to have the added torture of thinking that it's possible there may be an answer to why, but it's stuck on a server somewhere and they're refusing to hand it over.
Do you think, though, that in some cases social media companies are prioritising privacy over the rights of parents to know what happened to their children?
I think if they could hand over data in a compassionate way, they would. The challenge is no one has designed a way of creating that compassionate exceptionalism that also solves this challenge of, well, why would a tech company be giving it to this parent but not to that parent? Why do they have the right to make that decision? I think if we're really worried about the impact of social media on younger teenagers, then rather than trying to set up a situation where parents have the right to look over their shoulder, then the alternative is we simply raise the age at which teenagers should use the platform and then enforce against that.
In the case of Jules Sweeney, though, one accusation has been that the social media companies have placed process ahead of compassion. Do you think that is not fair then?
I'm not in favour of the idea that for a child's account while the child is alive, that the parent should be able to read their account as if they could read their diary. I think a teenager has some right to privacy. In the event of a child's death, I think we do need a quicker, expedited process for getting to that decision about whether a parent can see that content and making sure that happens before that content is deleted. And I think that's what is there in the new Online Safety Act. It's about, first of all, making sure that they keep the data and they don't delete it. And then secondly, that Ofcom can require them to disclose more of that data. But I do think it's difficult if you make an automatic right for a parent or a step parent in those cases without any oversight of that from some sort of legal body.
That was Theo Bartram from the Social Market Foundation. We can speak now to Ellen Room, who's the mother of Jules Sweeney. Yeah, Ellen, thank you so much for joining us. Good evening to you.
Good evening.
Why is it so important for you, for your family, to get access to your late son's social media accounts and the information there?
I think the unknown of having lost a child and not having any understanding as to why they're no longer here is impossibly hard. And I'm not the only parent. I've just been with several bereaved families that all want the same data. We all want answers as to why our children aren't here and believe that social media might give us the answers we're looking for.
Yes, tell us about the debate and the kind of support you feel you're getting for Jules Law.
Well, I was quite worried today. I thought, what if it's not debated? What if they don't do anything? And today was outstanding, in my opinion. Every single MP agreed with my debate in the sense that we should have the right to this data. And I also raised the fact that whilst the data bill is positive and it will help newly bereaved families, that is only if the coroner demands the information. Well, like in my case and 6 other people I was with today, that wasn't requested, or if it was, it wasn't released. But certainly in my case, the police and the coroner never requested that information. So I said, as a matter of principle, it should be just like a toxicology report is requested when a child dies, then you should have that information that goes to the coroner straight away. So that's one point with the data bill. And second, retrospectively, I have no way of getting that data without redoing my son's inquest at a cost of £86,000. And I think that's morally wrong.
So you would want social media companies to be compelled basically to hand over this information as if it were medical information at an inquest?
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's important somebody once said to me closure the other day. That is completely the wrong word, but I can't think of anything better than that. Some sort of understanding as to why a perfectly normal 14-year-old that had no mental health issues that anybody was aware of, that wasn't being bullied offline, had plenty of friends, to suddenly come home and find your child not breathing is incredibly hard.
And obviously awful for you as a parent, but I think you and others have made the point. It's not just the immediate family, is it? It's friends, it's others who have the same questions as you, who are going to have their lives impacted by the death of your son.
Correct. So in a fresh inquest, if I go to the High Court and it's successful, then it would be a fresh inquest. So all those children that were interviewed when Jules died would have to be questioned again. So you're putting children under that pressure again to answer questions that they don't want to go over again with police. They found it traumatic at the beginning, and to put them in that situation that they're having to go through that again is wrong.
We have heard in just the last couple of days from Ian Russell, the father of Molly Russell. Of course, he knew what she was looking at on the internet. He says that far from advancing under the Online Safety Act, internet safety is actually going backwards in this country. What's your view?
Massively. I think, with the announcements with social media and changing what's shown, and I can't remember the term. What's the term when they... this non-checking of rights, of what's publicised, they're removing that.
Fact-checking.
That's the word. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. So fact-checking is being removed. So you've got children that are like sponges, and you're then having platforms which are releasing information that, children don't know if it's true or not. I think that's wrong, and it's very dangerous.
Ellen Room, many, many thanks for joining us there.
Thank you.
Ellen Room, mother of Jules Sweeney, who took his own life. And if you are suffering distress or despair and you need support, including urgent support, there is a list of organisations